today I'm going to be doing top K frequent elements, Neetcode, and this is in the blind 75. We can see right here it's the next one in the arrays and hashing. I did already kind of look over and looked up some optimal solutions for this so that my video wouldn't be as long as last time. So I think I'll just kind of go through it one by one again and see if I can reproduce the same result and understand it a little bit better. But essentially, the result that we would have, I believe, would be O of n time, because we're only looping through the array one time. And let's just get started and we'll read over what we're doing. So top K frequent elements. So we're given an integer array called nums and an integer k, and it's asking us to return the k most frequent elements within the array. The test cases are generated such that the answer is always unique. You may return the output in any order. So essentially we're given a bunch of numbers in an array, and we need to return whatever numbers or pair of numbers that return or that are that appear the most. So this isn't just like find the one element, it's find the pair if there are more than one. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we need to create a map to store the pairs of most frequent. So I guess the most frequent and the value. And most frequent. So that'd just be stood unordered map. And this would just be an int and an int. And we could just call this a map. The next thing that we would want to do is use a priority queue. So to make sure that we get the max element, meaning the biggest number in the actual data structure or our vector, we could use a priority queue to do the max or the min. So I'll just do the max. So we could do priority queue, max priority queue. And let's look up priority queue C++. So yeah, it by default priority queue implements a max heap. The largest element is always at the top, so it's always accessible at the top. So this could be stood priority queue, and then what we want to store inside of here is a pair of elements that are both integers, because we want to store the frequency. Well, we want to get the frequency of and the value. So and we could just call this max PQ. And then we also need a result vector, because we are returning, the return type is a vector. So we would just do stood vector of integers called result. The first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to do for every int num and nums, we're going to do map and then num plus plus. So this is essentially saying in our map we're going to increment every num in our integer or in our vector, and that'll get added. The next thing that we're going to want to do is for autoconst val, and then this is going to be our pairs. So we'll say frequency and val inside of map, And then basically, let's see, for every I'm trying to think. Const auto val, frequency and val, and map. So we're basically checking for every pair in our map. Let's look at our hints. Yeah, we're gonna want to push that to the priority queue. So we would do, gosh, don't want to open that. We do max pq dot push, and then we do frequency and val. And now we would want to do one final loop, for loop, that iterates over k times. So int I is less than k, and then I plus plus, and then let's see what our last hint is. We want to push back with our result. So we want to push back onto our vector the pair or the numbers that are the most frequent. So we'd want to do the max dot top. So we do max pq dot top, and then dot second, because we want to get the second value as well. And then we want to pop that as well. So and then we just do max pq dot pop. And this might be a little confusing. I'm still kind of working through it in my brain as well, but let's go over it once we get this passed. So we're iterating over every number in our numbers vector or array, and then we're mapping. So for every number, we are incrementing it in our map, which is using the subscript operator. And then we are now using another range-based for loop, but this time we're checking the frequency and value. And since our max priority queue uses a pair, we push the frequency and value onto our map, and then we essentially loop through our vector k times, and then we essentially want to push the results that we get onto the new result vector, and we want to push the top and then the second most element, so that is the two most frequent pairs or frequent values, and then we would also pop that as well, and then we would return that. So let's run this and see if it passes. Looks like I did something wrong here. Max pq dot push frequent was not defined in the scope. Let's see. Oh, I used brackets instead of. I used braces instead of, or brackets instead of braces. Let's try that. And now it's saying, okay, freak was not declared. Do you mean free? Alright, let's see what it's telling me. Check your initialized result, but later tried to use res. Oh, that's why. So now we'll just do result. And then also remember that stood pair compares the first element. So oh wait. Yeah, this would be the pair. And I believe that we would actually want to put value here first. And then the frequency. There we go. Alright, so that took a little bit more time, but I'm actually going to try a more brute force approach again on my own. But if we submit this, it should be pretty decent. Yeah, so 2 milliseconds, really great. Not too much code either, so not too bad. I think I'm going to take a break for now, but yeah, thank you guys, and I appreciate you watching the video. I am recording this on my live stream, so if you guys are ever looking to hang out, please come and watch the streams, and we can solve these problems together. I am still figuring out a lot of the data structures in C++, so priority queues and maps and all of that are still kind of new to me in practice, so forgive me if I look stuff up, but I'm learning a lot, and I think just the practice helps, so I will keep learning this on my own as well. Thank you guys for having the time to come and watch today, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time we do another Neetcode problem.